there's a lot of things that can hold us back from stepping into our true purpose. Some of these things might be limiting beliefs about ourselves, our inner demons, especially our fears. And something that was a topic for me for many years was just simply not knowing what I'm good at, not knowing why I'm here and what I'm meant to be doing. So in this video, I'm going to tell you all about my journey to finding my true purpose and how you can too. So stick around to find out. Can you imagine what it would be like if people that you met were doing what fulfilled them? One example, let's say you're walking into a mall, into a shopping center, and the people standing in the entrance greeting you are beaming with this big smile, and they say, "Welcome, I am so happy to see you, have a wonderful day." As opposed to a security guard maybe just standing around trying to see if anyone might be like up to no good, like really scrutinizing you. One thing that may be easier to imagine is, what is it like when you're in the underground and you see someone who's just having a really awesome day, and it's almost like they can almost not contain themselves from singing, and they look at you and they beam at you and they smile at you in such a way that it really touches your heart. Could that possibly make you feel a little bit better about yourself? It might bring some more ease to your body, to your nervous system. Perhaps it raises your frequency and you kind of start feeling happier too. As opposed to, let's say you encounter someone who's having a really bad day. Everything that's happened to them so far has really annoyed them, getting on their nerves, and they're sort of just fed up. And they look at you with a really disgusting look on their face, like you're the last thing that they want to see right now. And they just look really annoyed with you. What effect would that have on you? I'm guessing it's probably going to make you feel a little bit less happy, a little bit insecure, feel like you kind of want to be somewhere else at the time. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. So what happens on the outside is a reflection of what happens on the inside. So what I'm saying is that the more that we start raising our vibration, the more that we start doing things that really fulfill us, and also switching our outlook on life, changing our perspective to seeing what is the positive in others, then we start magnetizing it. We will send out these vibrations of happiness, of peace, of joy, and they will be received by the people around us and will help to raise their vibration too. And I have experimented with this before. I have gone into a supermarket completely off my day, like really disgruntled, annoyed, and just really wanted to quickly get my things done. And with no apparent reason, I kind of triggered people into being grouchy at me and asking me weird questions and stuff like that. And we were just sort of like, increase our grouchiness together. But quite a while ago, I started trying out a new strategy. Before I would enter a place like a supermarket where I was bound to encounter a lot of other people, I would take a deep breath, try and connect with my heart and connect with gratitude. I basically imagined hugging, embracing all of the people in the supermarket before I even saw them. And with this energy, I went in and I would only encounter positive experiences. People would smile, people would just be relaxed and friendly, and I never had a negative experience when I went to a place with my energy field in such a position of joy or gratitude. So I invite you also to try this out for yourself and to see what changing your energy on the inside, your mood, your appearance by smiling, but also feeling it, as opposed to allowing yourself to be angry and nervous and unhappy, what that does to the encounters in your life. I've actually come to believe now that by changing our perspective on life and focusing on the positive things, we are not just changing our perspective, but we are actually creating more positivity in the world. We are feeding that aspect of life with our energy and allowing it to grow and enlarge. At the same time, I also realized that by focusing on the negatives, I am increasing that field. I am fueling it with my energy, feeding it with my energy, and allowing the world to become more and more dark. So what is it all about? For me, it's all about embracing the unknown, facing my fears and charging head on through them. Maybe with a little bit of help and breathing or something, but basically it's all about facing our inner demons and overcoming them, transforming them, managing to see also the positive inside them. And by doing that, we transform them from dark into light, something helpful to our path, being able to see them as our teachers. So on our journey to finding our life's purpose, one of the most important parts is looking inwards, and at the same time also looking outwards and specifically focusing on what I would like to see in the world, which aspects of the humans that I see, that I come into contact with, what are the aspects that I really love, what are the things that make me happy when I see them, make my heart grow and really touch me deeply. And I started putting my focus on the things that I liked instead of the things that I disliked. And you know what started happening? Suddenly I started seeing less things that I disliked and more things that I liked. Not just in outside, but also on the inside. So step by step, I was able to slowly let go of my hatred and my anger towards life, myself, and all humans. And step by step, started seeing the positive sides within me. And what does that mean? It helped me to start seeing my talents, to see my strengths, to see that I am not completely useless and there is a place for me on this earth. I would like to tell you about a story when I was still quite young and I had realized that quitting school wasn't maybe the best decision. I decided to attend evening school and to finish my high schooling in order to have better chances for a job, because the job I was in was something that I just absolutely hated. It felt really taxing and it just drained all of my energy, and I often went home pretty depressed, feeling helpless and lost. So during the evening school, I had to do this art project. At the first, I was quite annoyed by it because I thought, I really have to get all this stuff done. Why do I have to do a pointless, useless art project? I had this programming that art isn't worth much, but that's changed ever since quite a lot. I now really understand the true value of art, of creativity. So we had to make a model, and I had this sudden idea to make a model of a river flowing downstream with some rocks in it, and then there was the river bank, and there were some ladders going up from the river to the river bank to the top, which sort of just intuitively came up as an idea or something I needed to implement. And then I made two paths on the left and on the right of the river, going through like a kind of grassy, bushy terrain. And while creating this piece of art, I had actually gone into quite a meditative state without realizing it, because at the time I had no idea how to meditate, and I was full of endless thought patterns. My nervous system was quite on edge usually, and I was constantly agitated. So actually doing this art project brought my nervous system down, and at the same time I started analyzing what it meant to me. What did this river with the ladders and the different paths mean? And suddenly I realized that my entire life so far, I'd been like this little twig in the water, just being sloshed this way and that way, having no choice about what happens to me, being flung against rocks here and rocks there, and just like basically a victim of my surroundings. And I realized that since I'm not a twig, I can actually decide to stop this cycle and to see what happens if I climb up one of the ladders out of the water and have a look at what else is out there. So I tried out in my mind walking along one of the riverbank paths and enjoying the grasslands and the sun shining on my skin, and realizing all of a sudden that I'm the creator of my life. I can choose where I want to go, where I want to be. If I want, I can go back into the river and let myself be flushed along again. But I can also stop doing that, and I can decide where I want to be at what time. So this didn't quite sink in completely for me, but it started working away inside me in my subconscious for many, many years, sort of guiding me more and more to becoming a conscious creator of my life, as opposed to a helpless victim of my surroundings and the things that happened to me. And this brought me to also start experimenting with more and more things. So one of the things I would love to invite you to do is to start thinking about how active you are in deciding where your life is going. Are you a passive observer like I was, or are you more active? Are you really making conscious decisions? You know why and what you're doing. If you are perhaps a more passive observer of your life, is there something perhaps that you want to change in your life? Maybe doing a meditation, or maybe even doing an art project if you feel motivated to do it or inspired, where you just let your mind go and let your hands start working on what they think they want to do. Or just following your flow. Perhaps you might start getting some new ideas. So I eventually decided to go a new path and start consciously deciding what I want to do and when. And I went through a whole process of different things, discovering at least what I did not want, until I started discovering things that I really, truly feel passionate about, and also started researching on these things. And it took me many, many years to take the first steps to really going towards what I am here to be doing. And this had a lot to do with organic gardening and connecting to nature. And it was a very slow and grueling process, because I was basically on my own and I didn't have the guidance that I today wish I had to kind of speed things up and to take less detours on the way. I mean, I'm sure some of the detours were very valuable and taught me a lot, but I'm sure that it might have been easier and there might have been another way to get to where I am now sooner without losing so much energy, and it did cost me a lot of health as well. So what I think is it's time for a paradigm shift. I truly believe that we can do this, and we can transform the world into a brighter place, into a place where people can live from their heart and can do jobs that they really enjoy, that they can really find and live their purpose, and by living their purpose, they can utilize their energy in a completely different way. This could be a lifelong process, but the sooner we start really taking action and going those first steps of what really fulfills us, God, I tell you, it's unbelievable. It's just such a huge difference to what I knew before. And I'm so grateful to finally have gotten out of that dark pit, that dark hole, and started really embracing who I am. As a child, I did not like what I saw in the world. Greed, destruction, poverty, hatred, anger. And I kind of thought that the whole world was like that. And that led me to believe that being a human being was one of the worst punishments you could possibly have. And I started hating myself for it. But I also started hating human beings in general. And that really, really got me stuck in a deep, dark pit for many years, full of depression, even thinking of suicide, and really destroying myself. I resorted to things like drugs and alcohol just to sort of, on one hand, to numb the pain, on the other hand, to increase the pain, like in my body, to sort of reflect the pain I was feeling on the inside. And I've come a long way since then. I really went through life the hard way. Being an Aries, I had at least the stubbornness to just keep going and keep going. And I would love to save you some of the steps that I went through, losing a lot of energy, wasting a lot of time, at least that's what it felt like, and really struggling, so that you can perhaps skip some of the unnecessary steps that I had to take because I had no guidance, or none in a physical, graspable way. And so if you start living your purpose and raising your vibration and living a life of joy and happiness, then what will that do? That will inspire the people around you. First of all, it will already automatically cause them to be more happy, to be more joyful, for their vibration to rise up. And if they see and talk, maybe even talk to you, and you tell them your story about how you're now living your purpose, then it could really, really help them and inspire them to do the same. And this can cause an absolute wave of transformation. And so this is the reason that I would love to work with any of you that feel like you need some help on your path to finding your purpose. So maybe you feel kind of lost and you're looking for more clarity on who you are, who you really are, who you came here to be. Well, I would love to work with you and help you figure these things out. So it's all about seeing our inner demons and transforming them, having a look at our deepest fears and allowing them to be, because the only way out is through. This is something that I've had to learn. There is no way out. I tried running away in all kinds of directions, but in the end I realized I was just running away from myself. And by learning to face my demons and my fears, I also learned to enjoy the process, to have actual fun, to see that as a challenge, as something that will definitely bring growth, and sort of like a game. And changing my fear of my fears to enjoyment and looking forward to it is something that has been truly empowering. So if this resonates with you, then I invite you to click on the link below in the description where you can sign up for a free discovery call, and we can speak to each other for 30 minutes via Zoom call, so we can look into each other's eyes and see if we're a match for each other, because I would love to help as many people as possible on their path to greatness, on their path to finding their true purpose and to living it step by step. So see you soon, I hope.